So the iPhone 14 Pro is here, and it features the new Dynamic Island display cutout. Everybody's really excited about it. We're gonna break it down and see if it's really all that it's cracked up to be. At its core, the Dynamic Island cutout features the iPhone 14's new front-facing camera and Face ID sensor. However, in true Apple fashion, the tech giant has added several animations that appear around the cutout, building a new, easy-to-access functionality to the top of the smartphone screen. There's no denying that the Dynamic Island looks nice, and that getting quick access to useful widgets is great. But I wish more third-party apps supported the cutout. So far, it's really only Apple's own apps like Apple Music, the clock, phone, FaceTime, voice memos, screen recording, Apple Maps, and a few others. It also animates to indicate when Face ID is searching for you and when your AirPods connect. This means that the Dynamic Island doesn't actually replace all of your notifications. Your texts and emails still drop in from the top of the screen, just like they do with past iPhones. There's a possibility this might change in the future, but at the outset, the Dynamic Island is only a way to quickly access certain apps' widgets. With that in mind, it's kind of difficult to see where that line is drawn on Apple's end. For instance, Apple touts that the Dynamic Island can display live activities, a persistent notification that updates information instead of constantly resending you new notifications. This could be updating the score of a sports game, turn-by-turn navigation, or your delivery order status. These live activities were shown off alongside iOS 16, so the feature is entirely new. We'll need to wait a few months for apps to start updating to fully take advantage of it. It's definitely useful to have another way to easily access information on your iPhone, especially given the smooth animations the undeniably cool Dynamic Island offers. But Apple could still stand to improve it at least a little bit. For instance, it's weird to touch and hold on the island to open the widget it represents, while tapping on it opens the full app up. This feels counterintuitive to me and like it should be reversed, since most people will likely only want to access the widget from the Dynamic Island rather than the full app. Overall, the Dynamic Island is a smart concept and unlike anything I've ever seen before in the smartphone industry. I just hope Apple plans to continue iterating on the initial design and that third-party developers jump on board really quickly. So the Dynamic Island itself is super responsive. It doesn't matter where you touch on the screen, it's gonna respond to what you're doing, whether you're doing a long press or a short press. It's really, really cool. I do think that there's some truth probably to the concerns about smudges. I didn't have that happen when I was playing around with it. I'm not a selfie guy though, so I think someone like Dean probably might run into an issue with it. But then again, you would have to have it be really, really greasy for it to be a problem. I think it's probably on par in terms of coolness, but what I like about the Dynamic Island is it's not like a mechanical thing, right? It's inside the phone screen, it's part of the phone screen. It's not this thing that pops up in some way mechanically, right? Because I think one of the issues with what we saw with the manufacturers that were experimenting with that in the Android space was the fact that sometimes the cameras would fail. They wouldn't pop up, or different things would break on them. They could snap off. That's not an issue with the Dynamic Island, and at the same time, it's still really cool, original, and unique. I think it could be cool because you'd have a unified place, but you would run into design language issues where, okay, so you want to see your notifications, but then this other notification comes through and you want to see just a widget, right? So in a sense, I understand why they're different, but the way that Apple presented it, they really did make it seem like it would include all of your notifications. That was something that a lot of us on the MobileSyrup team thought. I thought at first. So I think if Apple was able to come up with a UI solution and a way of interacting with the smartphone that makes sense in the context of allowing you to access both of those things, then I would be cool with it. I don't know what that is. I'm not smart enough to come up with it. So yeah, if they can do that, 100%, but otherwise I do understand why they're two separate features. Yeah, I talk about this a lot in my review of the iPhone 14 and the iPhone 14 Pro. I think Apple really wants to create a division between both smartphones this time around. Like, they want to give people reasons to buy the Pro instead of the 14. And that's part of where this comes in, where the dynamic island's not on the 14. They easily could have done something with a notch. Like, we've seen the mock-ups online. It's very possible they could have done something. It wouldn't be quite as cool. It wouldn't be like this sort of Samsung take on the cutout. So they could have done it and they decided not to. And I think that's specifically to keep that dynamic notch, the dynamic notch, there you go, the dynamic island exclusive to the Pro devices, to give people like a reason to shell out that extra cash to upgrade for this cool new feature. That's it for this video. I really like the dynamic island. I think it has a lot of potential. Make sure to like this content, subscribe to our channel, and also check out MobileSyrup.com for a lot more content tied to the iPhone 14. Thanks for watching.